Greetings out there in YouTube land. This is Morris, man, and as always, I thank you guys for coming to my channel. Today I'm going to do a special video. I got a comment from a gentleman, and I felt that this comment needed to be elaborated on because it triggered some things that I just kind of forgot about. I didn't think about. And the question was posed to me as far as, what do you think of neo-soul music and the movement of neo-soul? And my initial response was this, that neo-soul's been around for like 30 something years. Back in my era, it was called contemporary R&B. And what that spawned in my mind was that every 20 years things get recycled and they claim them as new, because to the people that they're targeting these products and ideas to are younger people. So technically it is new to them. And I'll give you a good example. When I was in high school, there was a fashion as far as shirts. It was called the Chinese collars. And the collar was kind of, missing. There was no flap. It was just like this little square thing around the neck. And it was really cool. So, they was like, this is the new fashion. And I'm sitting here watching one night on late TV an Edward G. Robinson movie that was made in the 40s. And he was wearing a Chinese collar. So it just made me, realize that every 20, 30, 40 years they recycle stuff. And that's the same thing with music, because to me, Roy Ayers was probably one of the pioneers of quote-unquote contemporary R&B, and as we know it now, neo-soul. Because a lot of people want to categorize him as just a jazz musician, which technically he was, but the style of music that he brought was not traditional, because jazz has a certain traditional formula, and other music styles of music too. That's what makes them what they are. And Roy Ayers was kind of had a jazz flavor, strong instrumentation, but structured like a R&B and pop song, because most jazz songs are just, there's like these 3, 4, 5 minute solos. Most of them, they didn't have any vocals. It was just these incredible musicians showcasing their talents through solos throughout this composition. And of course, Roy Ayers' music was not that traditional style. It had lyrics, it had hooks, it had choruses, it had bridges, changes. So, I look at that era of music as the original neo-soul, because, technically today, like neo-soul is just, and it's cool. I like it, the fact that there's some musicians and artists that are trying to keep that real vibe going, meaning that they got a guitar player on the song, a real bass player, a real drummer, keyboards instead of a drum machine loop, some synthesized loops and some synthesized bass stuff loops going on. And that's what kind of make up today's R&B music, unfortunately. So, I do appreciate that there is a movement as far as let's try to keep this old vibe going of actual musicians and people that can actually sing. But it's just interesting that every 20, 30 years they recycle this stuff, put a new repackage it and put a new name on it, put it out there. Just like with rap music, most of us think or believe that rap started like in the late 70s with the Sugar Hill Gang. Some people got together and said, hey, let's start rapping over some music backdrops. Rewind 15, 16 years earlier, or maybe 10 years earlier, and there was a group of guys in New York that called themselves the Last Poets that said, hey, let's do some poetry or rapping over some jazz music. So these styles have been around for a long time. They just kind of been repackaged and given a new name, So that's kind of, the gist of this video, that really technically that's not too much stuff that's new anymore. It's just recycled 20 years later when people forgotten about it, or the younger generation, was not a part of it when it first started, but they're part of it on the second wave, So, it's I just thought I'd put this video together just to state that, the majority of stuff that we do in here is just kind of recycled from a different era, Until next time, take care.